Hello, and welcome back to Dream Daddy, Dadrector's Cut. Not a dad dating simulator. You know, I don't remember if the title screen of the original version of this game had the dad tips at the bottom. That's awesome. You could totally just wait through all of them. Anyways, we're doing this again. We're doing more of this, and this is probably the only case where you're ever going to see me continue a series that I did first impressions of, and that's only because I already had it going as a series beforehand, and this is just an updated version. It's interesting. I recorded that first impressions months ago, as of this point. I edited it not too long ago, and that's what kind of put me in the mood to play it again. I recorded the first impressions during the second semester of my freshman year in college. And now it is the night before I move out of my house back into a dorm for my second year. And emotions are kind of high for a lot of reasons. And I've been going back and watching my original playthrough of Dream Daddy. I'm not finished yet, but I've been watching a lot of it just to mainly refresh myself on the voices I gave all these characters. But I just find myself very entertained by it because that was I started it in the summer before my senior year of high school, and the last I played of it before the first impressions was Christmas break of that year, of 2017, after my first semester of my senior year of high school. I feel like, in a way, I am a completely different person now than I was then. I have a lot more experience in a lot of areas. I've been in, since I started that summer, this series, I've been in 3 theatrical productions, only 2 of which I'd like to admit I was in, because one of them was just miserable. So I'm pretty much a theater kid now, but I guess one of those happened, the first of those happened over the course of me playing Dream Daddy. I have fallen in love twice, and that sounds really silly because, like, I'm 19, but, like, legitimately, one of which sort of ended in disaster, but, like, not fully. But I don't really talk to her anymore. Anyways, it's just interesting how much different I feel about a lot of the subject matter in this game now compared to when I first played it. And coming back to it now is going to be very interesting. Of course, what we did in the first impressions was the cult ending and all sorts of things. So I figured something out. Rewatching, while editing the first impressions, the first thing we pulled up, the save file from, let's go down and see if we can find it. The save file from 1011. That's the alternate timeline. That was the first save I pulled up when only a few side quests did, and I thought I had none with any dads, but I did. I had 2 with Craig, 2 with Joseph, 2 with Robert. I'm trying to think everyone I did stuff with in the alternate timeline of the original series. And then I went back, for real, and went back to the original timeline where I have 2 with every dad, and that's this. And that's where I have the most side quests available. And all of the side quests that appeared in the alternate timeline also appeared here. So what we're going to do for the next probably 2 episodes, including this one, is play through these side quests and catch up to them, see if we get more along the way, and then we're going to go back into the alternate timeline and finish up what we intended to finish up. Look, I know if I have 2 with Brian, I have 2 with everyone, because it's Brian. We did Dadmazon, so we have 3 with Craig. That's baffling. I think I want to do all those in one episode. But 3 otherwise. 1 that's just Dad book, 1 for Matt, and 1 from Hugo and Damien. So. Oh, it's me from the past. Okay, this is when I'm going to buy ice cream. We read all of these in the first impression, so if you want to catch up, go do that. I could just put in that footage, but I'm not going to. It's just like watching those old episodes of this series, I hate to keep rambling because I know I just had a long rant and I'll probably put a time code to skip through all of it. Watching through those old episodes, I go into some heavy subject matter. Like, part 17, I think, was Eastern Dragon, the finale where I did the third date with Hugo. I had, like, a 3-minute just rant about just, like, being who you are, not being afraid to, like, express yourself about your interests and stuff. I want to feel that again. I want to feel that passion, and I want this game to ignite that in me. And I don't know if I can in the current mental state I'm in. So we'll just see. But I go into a lot of stuff. I talk about a lot of stuff. I rant about a lot of real life situations that I was going through. But I've gone through so much worse since then. And I'm not trying to like get pity or anything. It's just when I say I've gone through worse, I've been through more harsh things. I've experienced more harsh things. My friends have experienced more harsh things, and that's the worst of it. And I don't see how I could have been so passionate then about so many things with how little I really knew about the world. You know? Let's buy ice cream. You know? I don't know. I bet these, based on the last one we did with Damien, Dad Mazan, I should say, these are probably going to be not like super heavy like the actual dates, but we're going to get back to the dates after we get through the side quests. We're going to go back, we're going to do the alternate timeline stuff with Damien and Brian, and finally, we're going to get Matt's good ending, because we need to do that. We need to fill in everyone's heads on the screen. And it's just going to be a joyous ride, but you know what? I've earned a treat. On the way home, I decide to stop off and grab some ice cream, which I fully plan to eat directly from the tub. I spend a lot of time trying to figure out just which type of ice cream I'd like to eat directly from the tub. Rocky Road? Pistachio? Oh, Amanda's probably going to want some too. Better get 2 tubs. She loves the cookie dough ice cream, right? Hey, mister. I turn around to see Ernest. Ooh, interesting. Leaning up against the wall of the convenience store. I gave Ernest, in my original playthrough, such a deep voice. He's a freaking 8th grader. Like, what? It's fine. Ernest? You're cool, right? I'm so cool. He's gonna be like, yeah, you're not cool. I'm so cool. I'm shocked you even have to ask, Dude Meister. Oh my god, I asked the wrong person. Could you just help me out? Help you out? There's no fire involved, is there? Just clouds. So if I give you $20, will you buy me e-liquid? Oh, he wants to get some vape juice. Isn't there a word for that? Pod? I say I have more experience than I did 2 years ago. I still don't know a lot of things, so just keep that in mind. Ernest, what's e-liquid? Exactly, Darnan. Exactly. It's like, Gatorade. You know, electrolyte liquid. I'd get it myself, but I'm banned from here for trying to run a grift on the cashier. A classic fiddle game. You know the deal. Oh, if you're talking about balanced electrolytes, then I got you, little buddy. And I didn't know you played the fiddle. Just ask the clerk for blue Cranrizapple Vortex? Just ask the clerk for blue Cranrizapple Vortex. He'll know what it is. To be fair, Darnan kinda looks like the guy who vapes. I pick up a tub of pistachio ice cream for myself and a tub of cookie dough ice cream for Amanda. I search around for some blue Crayson Void Starer, but can't seem to find any. I turn to the cashier. Is that what I think Ernest said? Say, where's your finest e-liquid? Behind the counter. You got an ID? First of all, my daughter is older than you. Second of all, I'm flattered. I switched shampoo recently. Is that taking some years off? If I was bald, would that dialogue still happen? Look, you need to be 21 to buy vape juice. Your hair doesn't look a day over 20. Thank you! Oh my gosh! Wait a minute. Are you just trying to butter me up to get me to buy more ice cream? Because it's working. I'm so ignorant. Oh my god. Oh, goodness. I glance outside and spot Ernest staring at me. Double wait a minute. So you're telling me that e-liquid is not a sports drink? It's for vaping. Ernest is watching us intently through the window. I better go give that kid a piece of my mind. I see. Okay, look, I'm gonna pretend that you didn't try to trick me into buying you the old Baphomet's cough syrup, and then go inside here to purchase my ice cream. I won't tell your dad if you promise to scram. And stop vaping, you'll get popcorn lung. I love this game. What if I give you $25? Go home, Ernest. As I'm walking back inside, Ernest calls after me. You can get popcorn lung from microwave popcorn, you know. I no longer trust this child, but the mere notion strikes fear into my heart. And it's probably why it's called popcorn lung. I go back inside to complete my purchase with a good cashier. Thank you, kind sir, for your time and generous hair compliments. You got it, bub. Oh, it's the Wolverine. I glance out the window while to see Ernest still outside. Looks like he's talking to some other poor sap. Guess I should go outside and save this other guy some grief. Wait a second. That's definitely a cop. Oh boy. Oh, do we have to oh no, are we gonna have to save Ernest? I grab my tubs of ice cream and bolt outside. Ernest is already face down on the hood of a squad car. Oh my gosh. This is intense. Ernest, did you seriously just try to get a cop to buy you e-liquid? Do you know this kid? I'm friends with his dad. My daughter took a stool with him. Never met him in my life. I'm friends with his dad. You know what? Yeah, we live in the same cul-de-sac. I know his dad. Listen, he's a good kid and I'm this boy's father. Oh! I turn around and see Robert walking up the street and towards the convenience store. Ernest, what are you doing? I want a lawyer. It's funny, I gave them kind of similar voices initially, but, like, Robert's was much more gruff. But, like, if I had to do this back in 2017, alternating between those two would have been rough. But I'm kind of lightening up on the Ernest voice. First of all, good first instinct. Remember that you're not required to answer any questions from a police officer without a lawyer present. You're this boy's father? Hey. Yes, sir. Ernest likes to lash out at me like this, ever since the accident. In all caps. Well, not in all caps, but with capital letters. Oh, I don't like talking about it. That's fine. Robert gets a wistful twinkle in his eye. It all started 7 summers ago. Clearly he does like talking about it, but it's also made up, so. My hair was long then. Oh my gosh, long-haired Robert. Don't even get me started. New metal was still in style. Ernest and I were down in the Florida swampland scavenging for... Sir, I can leave you to take it from here. Sounds good. Thanks, officer. Ernest, come along now. You'll be cleaning grout from the rain gutter for a week thanks to this transgression. The police officer gets in his car and drives off. I'm stunned by how cool Robert was just there. Thanks. I want to say... Richard? Ouch. Don't mention it, Hemingway. Hemingway? Got in trouble plenty of times in my life. Just trying to do my good deed for the day. Will you buy me e-liquid if I give you $20? Child, I will end you. Hey, Darnan, will you walk Ernest home with me? Sure. It's kind of... Yeah, it's not that weird. It's fine. Hey. Ernest runs ahead, presumably so he won't be seen with us, which is a thing I think kids do. He reminds me a lot of myself when I was his age. Well, maybe I wasn't as dumb. Seems like he tortures his dad. Hey. Seems like he tortures just about everybody. He even stole your wallet. What? No, I pat my back pocket. I pat the rest of my pockets. He stole my wallet. Why are you doing this to yourself? What? Robert points at my tubs of ice cream. One of them's for Amanda. Hey. I have no qualms with the quantity of ice cream you've purchased. It's a perfectly respectable amount of ice cream. It's the quality I'm talking about. Oh my gosh, is Robert like a huge ice cream aficionado who has like strong opinions about the best brand? You work hard, Darnan. You're a good dad. Don't you think you deserve top shelf ice cream? But these were on sale. Oh. If you're gonna treat yourself, go big or go home. Real vanilla bean. Real pistachio. You deserve it. Hey. We arrive at the cul-de-sac and Ernest runs into his home. That boy's the reason why we don't have prizes in cereal anymore. Hey. Catch you around, Darnan. Robert tosses me my wallet. I catch it with a surprised look on my face. I stole it back. Keep it in your front pocket or use a chain like back in your ska days. How does he know about that? Whatever. Smell you later. See ya, Robert. I wonder if this At first, because I thought it was about Ernest, I thought it like might be like reliant on how many dates we've done with Hugo. I think it might actually be reliant on how many dates we've done with Robert. But the weird thing was, in the original timeline, we had the generic dates with Robert after we did things with him that I'm not allowed to say anymore because I don't swear on this channel this year. So, there's that. I go back inside my home ready to spend the rest of the night with 2 tubs of ice cream and also Amanda. That's cute. I like that. That was fun.
Welcome. You've got
And if it really is like reliant on how many dates we've done with Robert, I feel like it should only be possible if we've done good dates with Robert, you know? Look, I saw you highlighting Craig because you want me to do Craig's things, but I won't. I won't. Let's do Matt. Hey, Darnan, what are your feelings about poker? We hardly know her. Let's do some poker. Let's lose that money. Matt invited me to a poker night at Joseph's house. I put on my going out coat and walk over. Across the way I spot Matt, who's walking over from his own house. He's got a case of beer under his arm. Crap, I should have brought something. Hey, man. Crap, I should have brought something. Great. Haha, no worries, man. It's your first time. Just bring a full wallet. How long have you guys been at this for? Years, buddy. Just a nice way to keep in touch with the guys. It's never really high stakes. We pass through the fence enclosing Joseph's backyard. Great, we got Craig, so 4 of these have Craig in it, whatever. Craig, Brian, and Joseph hover around the patio, drinking beer and chatting. Robert sits in the corner, brooding as usual. Darning, glad you could make it. See, I didn't watch any of the episodes, because I think the voice I gave Joseph in the early episodes is different from the voice I gave him later on, and I didn't watch any of the Joseph date episodes, so I'm not sure what consistent voice I gave him. In the cult ending, I gave him like a kind of sinister version of my own voice, which was different enough from like my Darnan voice, which is just my voice. I don't know. I'm just gonna give him a regular, kind of more suave voice, you know? Darnan, glad you could make it. So am I. I'm psyched to take all your money. The Craig voice is natural. The Craig voice is easy, and I haven't watched any of his dates either. Just like old times. Craig's the resident shark. I don't remember how to do Brian's voice, but it doesn't seem very hard. We prefer the term person who's good at poker. I'm well aware. Craig's always been suspiciously good at poker. Are you still as terrible as you were in college? Poker face. Hey, I wasn't terrible. I'm not bad at poker. I'm definitely good at poker. Alright, Darnan. Everyone stares at me. Okay, maybe that was a little defensive. Okay, I'm bad at poker. There's no way you're as bad as Joseph. Joseph shrugs. This is basically my tithing. I'm giving back to the community.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm happy to just sit here and eat all of Brian's snacks. Guess who brought pigs in a blanket? Not Craig. Hey, my chia seed and granola energy bars are just as delicious. That's a bit close to the voice I'm giving Brian. I'm trying to vary it out. This may have been a bad idea to record this. Everybody laughs. I like that in unison laughing. Let's just get the game going.
Nice.
We all take a seat at the table and Matt starts dealing cards. The first couple rounds go by easily as I'm getting the hang of things, but it's obvious that Craig is running the show here. Craig, how did you get so good at this? It's pretty easy. You just start getting a feel for everybody's tell. Like, Matt will scratch his ear. Hey. Brian adjusts his pants when he's trying to lie. Now wait a second. And I think you just loudly announced to the whole room when you have a good hand. Yeah. Yep, that's me. What's Joseph's tell? Everything. Literally everything. That man is an open book. He couldn't lie if he tried. You know, it's interesting. Now I keep sidetracking. Now that we've done the cult ending, how many like hints that are dropped within the main game that were like, oh my god, the cult ending could totally be canon and it would make perfect sense. But like with this, it doesn't, unless it's like an act that he's bad at lying, you know? But like, since they've officially established the cult ending as not canon, at the same time as them releasing these side quests, I feel like these are gonna try to, maybe a little bit try to like get rid of the whole like possibility of it being canon, you know? Well, at least I have God on my side. See, you can't even say that with a straight face. What about Robert?
Oh.
Honestly, the man's an enigma. Robert raises his glass of whiskey to us in a solemn salute. I think he'd wipe the floor with us if he actually tried. I'm just here because I enjoy the company. Robert probably has a fantastic poker face.
Hey.
Robert pulls out his phone and stares at it.
Hey.
Robert, is that a flip phone? Yeah. Oh my gosh, Robert has a flip phone!
Yeah.
What, are you a drug dealer now?
I.
Yeah, what do you need? Horse, speed, Tijuana Johnnies?
Oh.
I can get you the street stuff easy, but if you're looking for something exotic or designer that's maybe 72 hours in a flavored called, maybe I won't need you today, or maybe I won't need you tomorrow, but someday. Oh, a favor called, right. Oh, I think I'm good. Right. But still, if you got the coin, I got the goods. I think he's kidding. It's impossible to tell. I dropped my phone in the toilet and this is a backup until I can get it replaced under warranty. An enigma, exactly. Everyone murmurs their sympathies. We've all been there. Have we? We go back to playing. I really gotta stop eating these pigs in a blankets. Pigs in a blankets? Pigs in blankets? I don't know. But they're very good. I think there might be cheese in them. The best kind. Oof, I don't know if I got enough to raise you on this round. You can always bet your firstborn. Oh my gosh, Joseph! On the nose biblical references. If you think you can handle another one, be my guest. Briar and Hazel are a handful, to say the least. Buddy, you think 3 kids is a handful? Try 4. I'm operating at 100% dad capacity at all times.
Nice.
Actually, it's technically 5.
Ugh.
Christine saw a commercial for one of those dolls that poop and wouldn't stop asking for it. Christine. Okay. We ended up getting it for her. I thought it was Christy. Whatever. We ended up getting it for her birthday, but she's so grossed out by the fake baby poop that she makes me change its diapers. So now I'm changing the real baby and the fake baby. There's just a lot of poop in my household right now. Daisy got one of those a while back. One night I walk in on her after she had tried to take the doll apart to see how the poop mechanism worked, but then she couldn't put it back together and started crying. Poop everywhere. Fake poop, but still. That reminds me of... Wait, do we all have poop doll stories? Everyone nods in agreement. Guys, I really don't need any more poop in my life than there is already. Can we just get back to poker and not talk about poop? Matt deals another hand and we quickly forget about the poop. We run out of pigs in blankets, so we switch over to Craig's healthy snack food. It actually isn't terrible. These kale chips are phenomenal. We should sell these at the coffee shop.
Oh.
It's my own recipe. I'd be happy to give it to you guys. I can see it now. Pierce the kale chips. Nice.
Hey.
Pierce the Veil is a popular post-hardcore screamo band out of San Diego.
Well.
We all look at Matt, confused.
Man.
It's maybe not any of your wheelhouses.
Oh.
How's the shop nowadays?
Hey.
Busy as ever. I'm toying with the idea of hiring another person to work the counter, but I haven't found a good candidate. So is this canonically before Pablo, or like, does he just need somebody in addition to Pablo?
Hey.
If Amanda's looking for a summer gig, let me know. That's really nice of you, but I think she's been burned too badly by coffee shops before. Literally, not figuratively.
Oh.
Matt cocks his head to the side. I'll ask her, though. We get down to the final hand of the night, and it's Craig in the lead by a landslide. Joseph has long since lost all of his chips, and has taken to tidying up, refusing to any help from the rest of us. Brian deals us all cards. So what's it gonna take for Robert to give it on this round? Robert looks up from his half-empty glass of whiskey. Do you really want to unleash the beast? Well, now I'm curious. I got a long history of being a gambling man, but I'll only do it if you make it interesting. None of this penny chip nonsense. That's Brian's voice. I got a Lily's 18-year single blend sitting in my closet right now. Was saving it for when River turns 21, but I'm willing to put it up as collateral. Now you're talking my language. He throws the keys to his truck on the table. She's seen better days, but she can still pull a tree trunk out of the ground. Nope. Myself and everyone else at the table immediately folds. Deal the cards, bra guy. Are you guys sure you wanna... You heard the man. Deal.
Hey.
Brian deals the next round of cards. Craig stares daggers at Robert, who casually sips his whiskey. So I know what you might be thinking. Robert puts his old workhouse up for grabs, his only mode of transportation, at times in his life his only home. How could he be so sure of his abilities in gambling? I'll tell you right now, Craig. I wasn't always like this.
I don't know.
I was a lot like you. Smart, talented, cocksure of my own luck, great biceps. But it didn't last long, though. I lost everything in a game of Pai Gow back in the back room of a Shenzhen tea house on what I thought was a 3-day business trip. Everything gone. Clothes, money, identification, you name it. I woke up in a ditch near Xiazu Park and had to make my new life from there. It took me 3 years to beg, borrow, and steal my way back to American soil. And in those 3 years I saw the greatest depths of human fear, loved deeper than I ever had, and lost it all many more times over. I've seen my own death, Craig. I know how I die. It's not like this.
Oh,
So let's make this more interesting.
nice.
Robert produces the deed to his house from his jacket and tosses it on the table. Whoa! This is his poker face. He literally bets way too extravagantly.
Oh,
All I have and all I am. Are you prepared to go the distance?
oh.
Craig wipes the sweat from his brow. He studies Robert's face intently, searching for any sort or tell that he can find. Robert casually sips his whiskey again. I... fold.
Oh,
Everyone erupts.
nice.
Fine, fine, the whiskey is yours. And that's why you don't dance with the devil. So what was it? Were you bluffing or did you have the cards? That's for me to take to my grave, fellas.
Oh,
Next week, boys? Next week.
hey,
You got it.
nice.
I'll be there. Mm-hmm. I did, but sure thing. This has been very relaxing, and I sincerely doubt I will wake up in a cold sweat thinking about it tonight. What the heck, Darnin? Keep working on that poker face, Darnin. We all say our goodbyes and head our separate ways. That was so nice and wholesome. Gosh, I don't know how much time I have left. I wanted to do all 3 Craigs in one episode, but I feel like 2 is a lot. I don't know. Plus my speech at the beginning. I feel like 2 took up a lot of time, but I also don't want to show off all those dads, literally all of the dads, except for Hugo and Damien. I feel like Hugo and Damien deserve my time of day. So we're going to go ahead and do Hugo and Damien. Aren't we going to an art museum? Art walk. Art walk downtown. Okay, group chat. Damien and Hugo invited me to the monthly art walk in downtown Maple Bay. I've never really been to one of these before, so I'm not quite sure what I'm in for. I think I'm here a bit early. I don't see Damien or Hugo around anywhere, and I feel just a little uncomfortable standing among all these fancy art people. Darnin? I turn around. It's Joseph. Joseph, what are you doing here?
Oh,
Joseph scoffs at me. Why would you scoff at me? What am I doing here? How could you ask me that? I'm obviously a huge appreciator? Appreciatist? Okay, fine. Damien invited me to this art walk thing. I'm guessing he invited you too. Did he invite the whole neighborhood? Yep. Admittedly a little out of my depth here. Thank God. I thought I was going to be the odd one out. Are you allowed to say that? Say what? You know, thank God. Oh my gosh. Is he? Yep. I actually get double points when I say it since I'm a minister. Okay. Also in the original series, there's a lot of jokes that I absolutely would not make now, and even watching those old episodes, I'm like, that's not okay. What I just said wasn't okay, and that's in a video on my channel, and I just considered making another joke that's absolutely not okay, and no, you don't get to know what it is. But I actually am careful about what I'm saying now, and also my opinions have changed about various things, but whatever. Double points, that's funny. The points get you into heaven. That's how it works. Anyway, where are the guys? Taking the Lord's name in vain gets you closer to heaven if you're a minister. That's hilarious. I look and spot Hugo and Damien, who seem to have just arrived at the gallery. Good eve. Oh, it's like, good eve. But not like full on, good evening. Okay. Evening, friends.
Hmm?
Who's ready for some art? You know I am. You know I love looking at paintings that are in frames, and also paintings that aren't in frames. Art is good and stuff.
Yeah.
Well put, Darnan.
Hey.
All you have to know is that if you're ever feeling overwhelmed, there's generally always a table that has free wine and cheese. I like art now, and we know he likes wine and cheese. I've got the table in my sights. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go help myself to some tiny wines. I'm going to talk art with Hugo and Damien. So what's this first place? This particular artist specializes in landscape painting of various locales within the American Northeast. I look at the art. It is rad art. At the risk of sounding uninformed, do all of these landscapes look like butts to you guys? Damien and Hugo lean in, examining the paintings in earnest. It would appear as if you are correct. Valid assessment, Darnan. Hey, this art stuff's pretty easy. Oh, it gets more complicated. Sometimes the butts are more symbolic. Sometimes the butts are metaphors. Sometimes art is about the butts they don't draw. Interesting. I literally took an Art 100 class, which is like art, understanding art and like art appreciation terms. And like, I get it now, and I wouldn't have before, so it's fine. Joseph returns to our group with tiny cheese and wine. What did I miss? Butts. Shame. The cheese is nice, though. Shall we visit the next place? We leave the first gallery and walk a few minutes before we reach another one. This gallery is a bit more crowded. Huge paintings of... I'm not even sure hanging on the walls. Are we in the abstract art section? Oh, jeez. What am I looking at here?
Hey.
This is abstract art. I think the more important question is, what does this art mean to you? I stare at the painting. Am I going too much on the Damien voice? I'm out of practice with it, but am I going too much? I don't know. I stare at the painting, concentrating as hard as I can on its meaning. It's a metaphor for the human condition. It reminds me of my childhood. It represents strife. It's a butt. It's funny. It's really funny. I'm saying it. It won't get me points. I don't think we can get points here, but like, I don't know, because I figured out that like whether or not you get a good ending with a specific dad is like dependent on like the amount of points, total points you get with them. So it's all about the answers you choose over time. Some minigames winning the matters, other ones don't. Interestingly enough, the piano minigame at Matt's third date doesn't actually matter in terms of points you get with him. I don't know if they introduced these side quests just as fun little like dialogue things, or if they actually can get points. So I kind of don't want to say it's a butt, because I'm still trying to get points with Damien, but at the same time, it's a butt. It's a butt. Everyone else stares at the painting. Yeah, that's definitely a butt. While a valid assessment, I feel like the artist was trying to make a different statement. Probably how much you liked butts. Oh my gosh, Joseph! You are a servant of the Lord. We're all God's creatures, even butts. Comparing this piece to the artist's body of work, comparing this piece to the artist's body of work, I'm pretty sure this represents the sense of isolation he feels, creating traditional abstract artwork in a field that's rapidly moving towards digitization. Wow, how do you figure that? That's what it says on the placard. Let's look at a few more of these. We walk around the gallery, sampling some more of the artist's work. I almost hate to say it, but abstract art is kind of growing on me. It's interesting that the artist chooses not to let their work be defined by... what's the word? Realism? Realism. I like non-realist. The word is a more so naturalist. I'm gonna tell you what I learned in my Art 100 class. Realism isn't really non-abstraction. That's more so naturalism, trying to make things look realistic as possible. Realism is an art period, more like. I mean, it's certainly a style, but it's also more of a period than a style. naturalism is more the word that Darnan is looking for. As we're looking at one of the paintings, a patron scoffs loudly. Psh, I could do that.
Hmm?
Excuse me?
What?
Hugo, not here.
Oh.
No, come back here. The patron walks away, not noticing Hugo fuming right next to him.
Oh.
Oh, it's a man. You say you could do that, but you didn't. Wait, hold on. You say you could do that, but you didn't. You don't seem to have the intellectual depth or the artistic skill to execute a piece, even a fraction as impressive as this one. Art is the truest expression of the self, and it seems like your self is bad. And just hold on. It seems like your self is bad, so your art would be bad. Hugo's insult game isn't the best, but there's no denying his passion. Damien is holding him back at this point. Friend, he's not worth it. Hugo manages to cool down. He smooths his jacket. I'm sorry. I just love art very much. We know, buddy. I pat Hugo on the shoulder. Do we mean Joseph pats him? Whatever. You know what would ease the mood. Is it cheese? No. It's wine and cheese.
Hey.
Co-signed. The four of us head over to the wine and cheese table, which thankfully is grounded in realism and is actually wine and cheese. It's grounded in naturalism, darn it. Okay, we got one last stop on the tour. You lot feeling up for it? Is it gonna be any weirder than... Whoa. Is it gonna be any weirder than this art?
Oh.
It is absolutely weirder than this art. Let's do it. Damien, Hugo, Joseph, and I walk over to a performance in the street. Several masked performers in leotards undulate wildly on the ground, screaming both at each other and us.
Oh, cracker barrels.
So, quick question.
Oh.
Shoot. What is happening? I second this question. Performance art? What does it mean?
Oh.
Again, I pose the very same question to you, Mr. Linson. It doesn't know. I'm not saying butts again. I'm not. I really want to. They really like screaming. They don't like screaming. Fear of existence. The very humanity of being human. Well, there's no placard. I think it's fear of existence. What do you think they're trying to say? I believe it's less about what they're saying and more about why they're saying it. I think there's something special about performance art. With almost every other form of art, music, painting, photography, the artist uses their medium as a conduit for their emotions. With performance art, the medium is the artist. It's the purest expression of raw human emotion. It's artist catharsis. That's beautiful, Damien. So, what you're saying is, if I start making really loud fart noises right now, it's art as long as I, really mean it? Damien fixes him with a hard stare. Joseph is not... He's not... I'm doing that thing where I put my, open hand, against my neck, over and over, nah, just cut it out. The cut it out, so, cut it... Alright. I was gonna start making fart noises, but based on the look on your face, that joke isn't gonna play well with this crowd. This is so not the Joseph that would have the Satanic Dungeon, but it's fine. Wise. That was a really good explanation of performance art, Damien. I didn't even think that I would ever understand it, but you laid it out really succinctly. Why, thank you. I believe that as silly as something may seem on the outside, it's important to try to understand where it's coming from. I agree, wholeheartedly. You're very astute. Is there something between these guys? I look over to Joseph, who eyeballs me back. Yep, there's electricity over there. I'm not super cool with that, but that's okay. We watch the rest of the performances as earnestly as we can and clap politely after the dancers scream their way off stage. Phew, I think I'm all arted out. Agreed. We all decide to walk home together. We make our way back to the cul-de-sac, tiny wine and tiny cheese sloshing around in my stomach. I think what I've learned tonight, and not just what I've learned about art, which was nice and extremely informative, but what I've learned tonight is that when you put a bunch of tiny wine and tiny cheese together, it eventually becomes regular wine and regular cheese, followed by too much wine and too much cheese. The tiny cheese lulled me into a false sense of security. I felt safe with the tiny cheese. Wax wings too close to the sun. Cheese wings. Those would melt in the sun too, and I feel like it's more appropriate imagery. Plus, it'd be delicious. A nice Emmentaler, possibly. Hey, if you guys were painters, what would you paint? I actually dabble in oils. I mostly paint landscapes. I'm not very good, but it's a nice way to pass the time.
Oh.
I think I would focus on personal portraits of people in unique professions, like, for example, luchadors. I wonder why. I have no idea why, but I wonder why. I know why. I know why, Hugo. I know why you would want to paint luchadors. I think I'd paint boats, seascapes, maybe some lighthouses. Mostly boats. Really?
Oh.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're choosing boats in favor of a long history of religious imagery and artwork. What? Boats are cool. What about you, Darnan? Food artistry, landscapes, tasteful nudes of the artist. Food artistry, because landscapes was already said, you know. I would probably still do still lifes of various foods. I know what still lifes are. Bowls of fruit, maybe some bread in there. I'm not a big fan of still lifes personally, honestly. Would there be cheese involved? See, I thought about that, and no, I can't stare at a pile of cheese for 8 hours without eating some of it, and that would ruin the whole thing. Excellent point! We finally get to the cul-de-sac. Alright, boys, good art. Good art. Agreed.
Hey.
See you guys around? Whether you want to or not. We're all neighbors after all. That's suspicious. That is super suspicious given the cult ending, but it's fine. I'm going to be pointing out everything Joseph says as either suspicious or not suspicious from now on. That's all I can do. That's all I can do anymore. I head inside to deal with my inevitable cheese over. Alright.
Welcome. You've got dads.
Craig, I know we were college roommates, but chill out. It's weird. I didn't really have a sense of what a college roommate really entailed when I initially played this, but now I totally do because I've had one and I'm about to have another one. That's crazy to me. Anyways, I think 3 is good. 3 might be too much. I don't know how long this is. I don't have a clock on me or a timer. This has been more Dream Daddy Dadrector's Cut. Next time we'll be doing those 3 Craig side quests. I'm gonna be so tired of the voice, but I guess not any more tired than a Craig date. But I haven't done one in almost 2 years, so we'll see. This has been Dream Daddy Dadrector's Cut. I already said that. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay awesome. And I already gave a motivational speech at the end of the Dragon Ball FighterZ video, so go watch that if you need to pick me up. I might give one next episode. We'll see. Goodbye.